The government was congratulated last month for installing defibrillators at train stations for passengers who suffer heart attacks. But the ABC can reveal the project was delayed by almost a year and a half, even while RailCorp staff were reporting dozens of people suffering suspected heart attacks. The opposition says it's a negligent delay that may have had fatal consequences.
About 500,000 people catch the train every day. Not surprisingly, medical emergencies arise. In 2005, a man suffered a heart attack at Central and died, prompting calls for defibrillators at every station. It's a piece of equipment that experts say can be the difference between life and death.
In fact, if it's used, a defibrillator is used something like within the first minute, then 90% or more survive that. But if one waits for 10 minutes, which is the usual response of an ambulance, the survival rate's down to around 5%.
It wasn't until October 2007, though, 2 years later, that the government decided to test the heart-starting devices. It was supposed to be a 3-month trial with a full rollout in February 2008, but that didn't happen. RailCorp documents obtained under Freedom of Information show that within days of the missed deadline, staff reported the first suspected heart attack at Auburn Station. The next week, there were another 2. By the time the government held a media conference last month to deliver the defibrillators, 16 months had passed and 33 people had suffered suspected heart attacks. RailCorp doesn't record if they recovered or died.
Not only could this have had fatal consequences, it could easily have been solved. These machines didn't have to be invented. They sit on shelves. The state government could and should have purchased them much earlier.
At last month's launch, the minister noted the 16-month delay.
Certainly hasn't happened as quickly as I would have liked.
But today, he wasn't taking any responsibility for the 33 people who went without the potentially life-saving device.
The government cannot be held responsible for an individual who has a heart attack. That is a sad occurrence. But it is a fact of life.
And many of the stations are still waiting for their defibrillators. The minister says they should be in place by the end of next month. Matt Wordsworth, ABC News.